Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup returns to Knockhill Racing Circuit with a difference. It's reverse direction. Guys and girls making their way up to the grid. There goes our 1 minute board. The red lights start to appear on the gantry. We're about to go racing here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Who will get the jump down towards the first corner? David Slay on the front row of the grid makes a perfect start, and it's great to see David back at the sharp end as he leads in towards the hairpin for the first time of asking. We hold our breath in the commentary box. Michael Weddle is in second place, but Slay leads through and out of the hairpin as they head along towards Clark Corner. Very easy to make a mistake and get it wrong at the hairpin and be a bit costly, but Slay executes a perfect start and absolutely perfect first corner. Somebody goes across the grass on the inside there. Who was that? Difficult for us to see there. It looked like an ALM car. Was that David McNaughton? Don't know. Can't tell you from where we were sitting. No, it wasn't. McNaughton goes through the shot there. So through the Arnold Clark chicane they go. You can see the cars bucking and weaving over those curbs. John Duncan in fourth place just now. He has got just ahead of him as a good overtaking manoeuvre, quite a robust overtaking manoeuvre there. As the guys make their way up the hill towards the top of Duffy's Dip. That was Douglas Simpson, one of those guys who's just come over from the BMW Compact Cup Championship. But yeah, we were just saying that basically David Slay is leading the way from Michael Weddle and Dom Wheatley. Dom Wheatley's trying to go around outside of one, if not two people at the hairpin. That's not going to work. McNaughton goes very sideways as well. And the Minis getting very close to each other as they leave the hairpin and head along towards Clark Corner. John Duncan goes left, goes right. You can see he's faster here, but can he make the overlap work as they come in towards Clark Corner? Still no change of positions there as we have a waved yellow flag on the way in there. Oh, look at the debris across the track. That's a disaster for they come through. They'll lose a bit of grip on that. Yep, there's cars going off down the back straight. That looked like Ian Monroe was one of those cars. And yeah, come through Clark Corner and find that there's bits of turf all over the track. Now, is that a safety car board? No, it just means there's a car stopped after the Arnold Clark chicane there. There's a big waved yellow flag there, and now we have the safety car boards out at the top of Duffus as well. So I thought I saw them at the chicane, and then I didn't see anything at McIntyre's, but then I see them at the top of Duffus. So we've had to neutralise the race because there's debris all over the track at Clark Corner there. The guys and girls done a great job to make their cars and get their cars through that corner. However, there was a few cars running wide, Ian Monroe being one of them in his very yellow number 23 car that he's campaigned for quite a few number of years. So let's talk about David Slay. Isn't it great to see him back in the championship? Yes. Isn't it great to see him back at the front? Yes. Am I surprised? Yes. Didn't expect him to come back, sorry David, and to be so quick straight away. But he is. And let's see how he gets on for the rest of the year. As very, very quick restart actually. As the cars make their way up towards the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, David Slay pulls the pin and away he goes. You can't overtake until you're past that line there. You can't even have an overlap in this racing as they make their way down to the hairpin. Slay covers the inside. Not his first rodeo. He knows exactly what to do here. Lets the youngsters battle out behind him. Weddle on the inside tries to get an overlap or an undercut, call it what you like, and he has almost got it. Dom Wheatley's trying as well, but Dom Wheatley has got John Duncan issues as they head towards Clark Corner, and David McNaughton hovering about as well. But Slay manages to hold off, uses all his experience to hold off the youngsters at Clark's, and John Duncan does get ahead. He gets up one position and takes Dom Wheatley as they go towards Clark Corner. David McNaughton also trying to go through at the Arnold Clark chicane. Very short braking distance at the chicane. It's not really the best place to try and overtake unless you have a good run down that back straight and are catching somebody considerably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars at the front here as they make their way up Duffy's Dip. Little Mini, absolutely flat stick. Harry flatters as you come up the top of Duffy's Dip there, and just try and get the steering lock off as much as you can so it builds the revs up that main straight. Back over the crest of the hill to start another lap down towards the hairpin. David Slay does the defending on the way in there. Stops anybody trying to come up the inside of him, but he's then going to try and stop the car. That's one thing. One thing defending on the way in, but you're also still quite vulnerable to overshooting the corner and letting somebody try and get that cut back, the undercut on you as you go out the corner towards Clark's. The rest of the guys all flashing through there. David Long being one of them, the newcomers to the championship from Superlap Scotland. Great to see David out there in the number 30 car, and I'm quite a fan of David Long actually. He's done a lot of laps at Knockhill on track days and racing. So down the back straight these guys come, still holding their positions they are. Michael Weddle looking pretty menacing. John Duncan's actually sneaked up into second place here. Missed that one. Cracking move from John Duncan in number 24. He's got past Michael Weddle, and can't believe the commentator missed that one. Feel free to email me and complain at that if you want to, John. It's not a problem. Up Duffus Dip. A few variations in lines there. You can see that as the cars come into view, and up the main straight they go. David McNaughton in the ALM backed car looking to try and get past Wheatley and Weddle, and David Slay's got a big enough gap this time. He doesn't need to defend. He can take the traditional racing line into the corner. Nice bit of braking, but look at these guys behind him here. Behind them, they're all catching up behind Weddle and Wheatley side by side. Let's hope there's no contact with those two young guns as they leave the hairpin. If there is, David McNaughton will be absolutely all over that. Craig Blake involved in that. Hannah Chapman goes out of view as well, heading towards Clark Corner. Hannah Chapman took 3 race wins here in this direction at a previous meeting in the previous year. And to Hannah, that will seem like a previous lifetime now as well, because she'll be desperate to get back on the podium. But look, David McNaughton goes past Wheatley, and he gets him going in towards the chicane there. He had a good run through Clarkson, had the overlap on him halfway down the back straight. So good move from McNaughton in the number 28 car. Really impressed with how this man has taken to mini racing, coming from the BMW Compact Cup. Got to say, he's really enjoying driving his mini, and he's making that mini work pretty well around Knockhill Racing Circuit under blue sunny skies as they clip off another lap over the crest of the hill down towards the hairpin. The all-important hairpin. There's not many overtaking places in reverse direction, but you've still got to get the corners absolutely spot on. The hairpin is one of them as we zoom right in at the apex here. Good camera work. We see Ross Wilkinson going through. Ross Wilkinson holding off some very experienced drivers behind him, and he's a newcomer to the championship. Now look at this, the experience shown at the front there. These two guys starting to pull away considerably from 3rd and 4th. David Slay and John Duncan. I'm saying experienced in John Duncan. John's only been involved in the championship a couple of years now. I think this is his 3rd season. Again, John, email me, feel free. As they go over the Arnold Clark chicane and then head up towards McIntyre's through Butchers. Weddle has got McNaughton issues, that's for sure. David McNaughton looks very, very racy in that white number 28 car, and he will be desperate to get onto the podium. Will he do it? Well, let's wait and see as they go onto the main straight and underneath that Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, the famous Beatson's Bridge here at Knockhill Racing Circuit, and down towards the open. David Slay though, well, he's got this one well and truly in control, hasn't he? He looks very happy in the front there. He's not under pressure from John Duncan at this point, but that's not to say the pressure's not going to come from John Duncan. Ross Wilkinson still holds off Craig Blake, Hannah Chapman, and Ian Monroe with another car flashing through there. Very impressed with Ross Wilkinson, got to say that. Like newcomers, and he's got some very experienced drivers behind him. Through Clark Corner they go. Down the back straight, John Duncan not really making too many inroads to David Slay. And this direction is new to a lot of them. David Slay will obviously be enjoying this direction. He's done a lot more laps going the other way. But Ian Monroe now fighting within an inch of his life to try and keep his position, as he's got to do as they go in towards McIntyre's. Hannah Chapman as well. We've said Hannah's a previous race winner here. And look, she has finally come alive here. Craig Blake, the next person in front of her. 2 newcomers in front of Hannah, we should say that. So over the crest of the hill. Is that the last lap board they are hanging out there? If it is, this is where it's going to really start counting. We need to try and catch up with David Slay and see if he's managing to hold off John Duncan as they go down towards the hairpin. Yes, he is. That's a big enough gap in my eyes not to worry too much about your mirrors. Good turning. Oh, look at that, side by side. Weddle and McNaughton. McNaughton tries to get past but can't. Wilkinson still holds off Craig Blake and Hannah Chapman as they head towards Clark Corner now. But that's a big enough gap for David Slay not to have to worry too much about his mirrors. David McNaughton, no, McNaughton up the inside and passes Michael Weddle. Good move over the apex. Oh, there's contact. Round goes McNaughton. Weddle into the side of McNaughton, and round goes McNaughton into the gravel trap. Now, did he manage to get away from that? Well, I can't see, but that's promoted Dom Wheatley. In fact, that's Michael Weddle there. So Weddle has managed to keep going. There's no sign anywhere of David McNaughton. So disaster. McNaughton pulled off the overtaking manoeuvre, and Weddle had a go at him going through Clark's. There was a big hit of the sausage curve from Weddle, and then that pushed him into the side of the number 28 Mini, and round they went into the gravel trap. Disaster for David McNaughton. Oh, it's upside down. What an absolute disaster. The car's upside down. The checker flag is out, and David Slay wins the race from John Duncan. But unfortunately, David McNaughton ends the race upside down in the gravel trap at Clark. I wouldn't like to say in true Mini style, but that went pear-shaped towards the end of the race, but never take anything away from David Slay. Fabulous race, controlled that at the front, defended when he had to, and then led all the way home.